So today, we're going to be using one of your guys' decks in the Majestic Challenge and see how well can I do. This time we're going to be using the Blacksmith, Rocketeer, Jawsome, and the Robot. Very tanky deck, especially with the Blacksmith to be able to give everyone defensive buff so that they can survive long enough. Buffing up the Rocketeer to shoot those rockets, while the Jawsome is there to just deal extra damage to the heroes that are nearby. And of course, the Robot, whenever he takes damage, he places bomb, works perfectly well with the Blacksmith. Let's see how far can we go using this deck. My name is Tumike, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Alrighty, shout out to the person down here for recommending me to try out this deck. We're facing like a passive damage deck. Alright, starting off with the Rocketeer is always horrible, of course. Let's see if we can buff up the Rocketeer a little bit by pushing it towards the Jawsome. There we go. We were actually able to do that, buff up the Rocketeer a little bit. Plus, we did a little bit damage to the Druid, like 54 damage. Yeah, he has Farmer and Druid to deal constant damage every single turn. Plus, he can also just use the Thunder Paws and the Ragnar's ability to just deal that extra damage. But nothing too crazy, though. Let's buff up the Robot, hit the Druid, maybe towards the Rocketeer. Maybe we can hit the Farmer as well. Yes, we did. Decent damage. Well, actually, all 4 heroes got damage right there. That was pretty good. Alright, Ragnar does go next. He is going to hit the Robot, which it will place bombs. Alright, so he just placed a little bit of bomb. The ability actually went towards the Rocketeer, which I actually didn't expect that. But, okie doke. I mean, buffing up the Blacksmith is probably not the best play. Or not the Blacksmith, the Jawsome. It might not be the best play, honestly. I honestly don't know what to do here, to be honest with you. Maybe you can hit the Druid, the Thunder Paws, maybe? I mean, we did damage, plus the Jawsome actually did damage to the Ragnar. Sadly, the bomb didn't deal damage because we pushed it out of the way. But we actually did decent damage to the Ragnar. Alright, Jawsome does go next. This is where we just actually lost the Rocketeer. That's actually not good. We cannot buff up the Jawsome yet. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm kind of struggling. Actually, we might be able to if we play like this. Buff up the Jawsome, yes we did, so now they can tank damage. So Thunder Paws' charges, I'm not too worried about it anymore. We can take damage now. He is actually going to hit the Robot, which I will place some bombs. And look at how much bombs there is right there. That's actually pretty good, pretty good. Can we double hit the Thunder Paws right there? Let's go. Also hitting the Ragnar a little bit. Druid gets hit. The Farmer gets hit. All 4 heroes got hit right there. We should be able to survive long enough now to win because we got the enchantment. Just tanking damage every single turn. Can we take out his Farmer using the Jawsome right there? Plus, we can hit the Ragnar right here. What a play. Look at that. Wow. Almost a monster kill. Imagine that. Imagine a monster kill in the very first match. What a win, ladies and gentlemen, against a Wombo combo and the Druid Farmer combo. We did pretty well, not gonna lie. We'll use the Robot to deal damage inside the Jawsome, since the Robot does more damage than the Jawsome right there. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be our first win. What a game, ladies and gentlemen. Against the Wombo combo, we did pretty well, especially since we buffed up everyone with the defensive buff to stay alive longer. It actually worked out very well. Let's continue on. Alrighty, guys. Second match here. Facing Enchantress Mummy combo is pretty interesting to face. He has Griffin and the Vampire, so very, hard-hitting units. Again, my Rocketeer goes first, which is a horrible start for me, dude. It's such a horrible start. We can buff up the Jawsome, make him go up. Actually, he didn't even go up there. He is going to deal damage to the Mummy and the Griffin. We also did a little bit of damage to the Enchantress. Of course, we didn't buff up the Rocketeer, but I think it was best to deal damage right there. Re-enchanted the Jawsome once again. Pretty annoying. Robot does go next. I think it's best to... Should we buff up? We'll buff up the Robot. Yeah, we'll buff up the Robot. I really hope that was the correct play instead of buffing up the Rocketeer. We can buff up the Rocketeer next turn. But the Rocketeer is going to take quite a bit of damage right there. Okay, thankfully it wasn't too crazy. I think it's like 192 damage. I cannot do the math right now. We'll buff up the Jawsome and the Rocketeer here. Let's do that. Dealing a little bit of damage. 82 damage to the Vampire is actually pretty crazy. Sorry. I don't know why I have to cough. He is going to hit the Robot healing, or not the Robot, the Rocketeer. Heals up the Vampire a little bit. With my Rocketeer going next, we're actually going to try to buff up the Rocketeer just a little bit while hitting the Vampire like that. Griffin will be taking a lot, sorry, a lot of damage right there. And it's actually going to be very difficult for him to actually take out the Rocketeer right now. The Rocketeer is going to do over 200 damage. Let's see what he's going to do. If he actually keeps his heroes together, we might be able to get a monster kill. Well played! Holy! We'll just take out these two. We'll take out both of them. Let's see if we can somehow make the bomb end up near the Enchantress right there. Also dealing damage to the Mummy right there. Nice little double kill. We should win here. We just took out his main threats, which is, you know, his attack units. Thanks to the Rocketeer. He's going to hit the robot, that's fine. We could just, yeah, just take out his Mummy. We should be able to take out his Mummy pretty easily right here. And we'll take out or deal damage to the Enchantress. Only one hit though. But we took out his Mummy. Only the Enchantress is left alive for the 1v3 situation. We should be able to win this match very easily now. With the Blacksmith, we just got just deal damage. There really isn't much I can do here. Yeah, push the Jocelyn towards the Enchantress. Let's see if the Jocelyn just ends up near the Enchantress right there. Sorry, my voice is actually going away for whatever reason. I should not be sick. I mean, I was sick like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's actually still lingering, which is so annoying. Oh, sorry, I put the notification right there. But yeah, guys, that's going to be our second one right there. Let's continue on. All right, third match here. Let's see. Ragnar and the Thunderpaws. Let's see if we're going to win here. Scarecrow cannot use his ability. If he tries to use the Ragnar's ability, it's going to miss. So his best is just to deal damage. He decided to try to go for the Ragnar, and that was a horrible play. Like, why did he do that? No clue. We'll buff up the Rocketeer and the robot here, and we might not deal damage, but it's best to buff up. Since the Blacksmith went first, it's best to buff up then instead of going for damage. Alright, Paladin goes next. Is he going to hit the Scarecrow? Yep, going to hit the Scarecrow towards the Jocelyn, I think. It's going to use the Ragnar's ability again. It should miss, other than hitting the Rocketeer. He is not doing the greatest, but we'll take it, dude. We'll hit the Rocketeer once again to buff him up. This will also hit the Ragnar. The Ragnar did get hit for 100 and something damage. 143 damage, more or less. We'll buff up the Jocelyn right now. This should hopefully hit the Cannonmancer. We actually buffed up the Rocketeer once again. So the Rocketeer has 4 rockets for his turn. This is where we should be able to just deal insane damage. Let's see who he's going to attack. The Rocketeer. And the Robot. Can we hit both of these guys? No, we cannot hit both of them. That's so unfortunate. We'll take out the Ragnar so he stops playing around with his Ragnar's ability. Plus, we actually hit the Scarecrow for 77 damage, which is pretty good. Plus the cat. So Ragnar is dead. Scarecrow can still be dangerous, but not during his turn. So he's just going to hit the Jocelyn towards the fire. Well, he did. He did decent damage, but nothing too crazy, you know. Do this. Hit the Scarecrow. Buff up the Rocketeer once again. Scarecrow is there near the Jocelyn. Catmaster actually gets hit with a bomb. So far, so good, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to heal up the Scarecrow and deal lots of damage to the Jocelyn. This is actually going to hurt quite a bit, but we're actually A-okay. Buff up the Rocketeer once again. Hit the Cannonmancer towards the Jocelyn. That was a lucky shot. And we actually hit the Paladin twice. Let's freaking go, dude. Alright, decent damage. He is going for the Jocelyn. That should not be a double a double hit. Oh, actually, it might be a double hit. Of course it is. Of course it's a double hit. Of course. Let's see. Should we just go for these two? Or should we take out the Cannonmancer? I guess we'll go after these two. We actually buffed up the Rocketeer once again. So the Rocketeer with 4 rockets once again. We can actually one-shot the Cannonmancer. I cannot one-shot the Paladin and the Scarecrow just yet. Can we hit both of them? Can we hit somebody, though? Just get a double kill here. Take out the Paladin so he stops healing up his heroes. Alright, so there you go. Alright, so we took out his Paladin so that way he stops healing up. Hopefully that was a correct play because I don't want him to constantly heal up, you know? He is going for the Blacksmith. Why? The Blacksmith did his job. Alright. I mean, that's fine, dude. Going after the Blacksmith. Double hit the Scarecrow right there. And the Cannonmaster. Cannonmaster dies. Let's go, dude. So only the Scarecrow is left alive. He cannot use his ability at all, which is perfect. He can still push heroes towards the cat for that extra damage, but... I mean, he did take out the Blacksmith, but the Blacksmith did his job, honestly. Or obviously. So we should be fine here. Can we just do this? Hit the Scarecrow. We sadly did not push it towards the fire, so he is going to survive for one turn. But the Jossum needs 2 hits. That looked very weird, not gonna lie. Can you push the Scarecrow towards the fire? Never mind, we actually just need a double hit for the win right there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was a triple kill too. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, that is yet again going to be another victory. We got 3 wins, doing awesome. Let's continue on. Alright, guys. 4th match here. Oh boy. This is a strong deck, not gonna lie. He's probably going to buff up the Werewolf, since the Warlord got the buff, and hit it towards the Rocketeer while buffing up the rest of his heroes. Good start. Very good start. We're going to buff up the Rocketeer here. Hopefully we'll buff up the Jossum as well with the defensive buff. Yes, we did. And did decent damage to the Enchantress, but... I mean, the Enchantress already did her job, so we don't need to focus on her. He started off perfectly well. The Werewolf gets the buff. Can he push the Rocketeer towards the Werewolf? He's going to try to use the cannon. The Werewolf actually deals damage. That's crazy, dude. Holy. Hit the Warlord. Potentially towards the bomb, maybe. Try to do that. We also deal damage to the Jossum right there. Did a little bit of damage to the Warlord as well. Decent damage, but he is going to take out the Rocketeer right now, so I cannot rely on the Rocketeer anymore. And the Blacksmith, without even buffing up the robot. What an insane play, ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing well here. We're getting destroyed. Let's just do that. Jossum should be able to deal decent damage right here. Actually taking out the Warlord, so he stops buffing up his heroes. Still gotta worry about the Jossum and the Werewolf. The Enchantress did her job, so don't worry about the Enchantress right now. Nice little double hit. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Not much I can do here. I mean, it's not like I want to hit the Werewolf, but it seems like we have to. And we're going to deal damage to the Jossum right there. But he is probably just going to hit my Jossum towards the Werewolf. And that is going to be a kill. Not even just a kill. He won the match. I was not able to do anything. It's just a strong deck. I wasn't able to do anything. Props to this person for playing super well. Let's continue on. Alright. Unfortunate loss right there. But let's see if we can win against this person. Sorry about the notification. Buff up the robot. Potentially push the Jossum upwards. Buff up the Rocketeer as well. Decent damage. Or decent play, I should say. Wraith goes next. He might buff up the Rocketeer. No, he's just going for damage. He's actually going for damage. Okay. On to the Blacksmith with a triple hit. Okay. 207 damage. That's fine. Buff up the Rocketeer here. Just buff him up. So now the Rocketeer has 4 rockets. And we can actually try to hit the Rocketeer and the Drakeling if they're still together. Unless he makes my life a little bit miserable. Kind of. Well, no way. Oh, wait, we actually have 5 rockets. I didn't realize that. Should we just take out these 2? Take out these 2. And then we'll worry about the Rocketeer, so that way he doesn't use the Drakeling or the Cultist. The Cultist actually survives to buff up the Rocketeer, so. He only has 1 rocket, so I'm not too worried about this. He is going for the Blacksmith? He wasted an attack! What was that? He whiffed an attack, dude. Okay, hit the Drakeling like that. And we're going to deal damage to his Drakeling. We also buffed up the Rocketeer. We'll take it, dude. But what was that play with the Rocketeer? He completely whiffed the attack. He's going to use Fireballs. Did a little bit of damage, but we're actually still fine. Take out the Drakeling right there, while also buffing up the Rocketeer. And we also took out the Cultist as well. So the Rocketeer can take out his Rocketeer in one shot. But actually, the Jossum goes next. Can we take out this Rocketeer? Maybe not, but we'll try to push him towards the fire or towards the Blacksmith. Push him towards the fire for 151 damage, but sadly the Rocketeer was not near enough to the Jossum to be able to deal damage again to take him out. But, we'll win here. All we gotta do now is just hit the Rocketeer with my Rocketeer, and it doesn't seem like we have the angle, but I think we do. Yes, we do have the angle right there. So that is going to be yet again another win. Even though we got one loss, we're actually doing fantastic. We got 4 wins, I think, right? I keep forgetting how many wins we have. But so far, so good. We're doing very good so far. Let's continue on. All right, 4 wins, 1 loss here. Jossum Warlord combo. This is going to be annoying, but we actually do start off with... instead of buffing up the rest of the heroes, we're actually going to just double hit the Rocketeer, since the Rocketeer actually goes after the Blacksmith. So now the Rocketeer has 3 rockets. He cannot use the Griffin, thankfully. You can probably just push the Mice Bandit towards the Robot? Maybe? Yep. Mice Bandit. Oh, never mind. He's going to use the Jocelyn for damage. Yeah? Jocelyn for damage. Okay. So, this is fine. All we gotta do now is, just hit both these guys. That's probably the best play I can do. Oh, can we could potentially hit all 3 of them, maybe? It seems like it. We actually did hit all 3 of them. Let's go for over 200 damage. The Griffin takes a little bit more. That was perfect. One of the best plays I could have done right there. All right. His Jocelyn goes next. He is just going to hit the Robot and the Robot and the Blacksmith. Okay. We could buff up the Rocketeer again. Yeah, buff up the Rocketeer again. Hit his Jocelyn. Rocketeer has 4 rockets. That's actually fantastic. The Rocketeer should survive long enough to be able to actually use him again. He's going for the Jossum the Robot. Jossum takes more damage. The Robot takes a lot of damage as well. Well played. Buff up the Robot here. Hit the Warlord. Let's go. Plus the Jossum should be able to pull. That will take out the Mice Bandit because of the bombs, but the Griffin survives with only 14 health. It's so unfortunate. Warlord gets a buff, and he does go next, so very good for him. He's going for the Blacksmith and the Robot. Well, the Robot just took major damage, but the defensive buff from the Blacksmith actually kept him alive. Can we push the Johnson towards the bombs? And look at that play, ladies and gentlemen. What a nice little double kill. The Jocelyn is almost dead. This will be a very easy victory. Super easy. It's a 1v4. And the Rocketeer goes next, and he can one-shot. Yep, there you go. He surrenders. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing fantastic so far. Let's continue on. Alright, guys. We're doing pretty good. I'm very happy with the outcome so far. Wombo combo. Not very happy about this, but... buff up the Rocketeer. This should also make the Jossum hit the Blacksmith. There we go. Look at that. Plus, we actually made the Jossum hit both Ragnar and the Spellwing. That was pretty decent. Not gonna lie. Alright, Griffin does go next. He is going to hit the Robot and the Jossum. Robot gets another hit off. He did not use the axe somehow. That didn't activate the Ragnar's ability. Push the Jossum upwards to deal damage. The Jossum is going to get a lot of value there. We actually buffed up the Rocketeer a pretty decent amount. The bomb sadly did not deal damage, but we still did pretty good. And the Rocketeer does go next, and he has 3 rockets, so he is probably going to keep his heroes together like he just did right there. Look at this. We can actually hit all 3 of them. All 4 of them is going to get hit. Oh my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. No way, the Thunderpaw survived! That was supposed to be a monster kill, man. That could have been such an amazing monster kill. And of course, the Thunderpaw was not near enough for the to get that accomplishment. Unfortunately, dude. But that was such a very easy win regardless. That was such an easy victory. We're doing fantastic. Very happy with the run so far. Obviously, we got 6 wins, yes? Yeah, very happy with it so far. Let's continue one. Alright guys, such an easy victory in the last one. Hopefully we can replicate that. Maybe not, who knows. Well, we're facing the one bow combo again with the slime and the sentinel. So like a very tanky deck. And he can slow down my heroes, which is going to be very unfortunate. We'll buff up the Rocketeer here. We'll also buff up the Blacksmith. No damage to anyone, sadly. I thought the Rocketeer was going to deal a little bit of damage to the Thunder Paws, but we missed. He's going to use the Sentinel. Well played. We can hit both these guys, yes? Yeah, we can actually hit both these two. Potentially burn the... No, I thought we were going to burn the Slime and the Sentinel right there. But we missed the Dragon's Hand. Still, decent damage to those two. He's going for the Rocketeer and the Sentinel play. Lots of damage to the Rocketeer, so the Rocketeer is taking quite a bit of damage. We'll buff up the Jawsome there. This should hit the Sentinel. Yeah, we're going to hit the Sentinel a couple of times right there. Plus hitting the Ragnar as well. Pretty good. Then the Paz goes next. He might just take out the Rocketeer so that way I don't, of course, go for damage right there. Lots of damage to the Jawsome right there. But thankfully, the Jawsome does have the defensive buff. So we actually tanked a lot of damage, which is good. Jawsome does go next. Sentinel. The Sentinel can actually get a decent amount of value right there. So we'll just do this. The Sentinel can still get decent value on the Jawsome. Thankfully, the defensive buff is going to be less devastating than it's going to be. But, 23 times 4. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of painful still, but nothing too crazy. Hit the Sentinel like that. Also hitting the Slime. Alright. Yeah, he's going for the charges. A little bit of damage right there. Well, we're still okay. We're still okay. Hit the Slime. He'll get burned. There you go. And plus the bomb is going to hit the Thunderpaws and the Sentinel. This is becoming a little bit dangerous. We might not be able to survive this match long enough, especially if he keeps playing around with, using ability damage instead of actually going for direct damage onto the robot. Because I cannot place bombs if he uses ability damage. Ooh, look at the damage that we just did. Nice play right there. We just took out the Sentinel, so he can still deal damage using the abilities, but it won't be as much, He just won, didn't he? We're still alive, but there's absolutely no way we're going to win here. Even if we can somehow push the Slime towards the fire, we need a double hit to take him out. Yeah, and we're slowed down. Ladies and gentlemen, he just bested me right there. Unfortunate loss. Such a close match too. We almost won against the Wombo combo here. But his plays just, basically just destroyed me. I wasn't able to do much right there. So good game right there. We only have 1 life left to go with 6 wins. So we're halfway there through the challenge with only 1 life left to go. Not the greatest of positions. 6 wins is still awesome. But let's see if we can actually win some more before we lose our the final time. Let's continue on. Alright guys, 6 wins with 1 life left to go. We're facing a heal deck with the Rocketeer. His Rocketeer goes first, which is fantastic for me. But he is going for damage, not too bad. Let's see if we can buff up the Jawsome and the Robot. Also buffing up the Rocketeer by giving him an extra rocket. Yes, we did. Dealing damage to the Paladin and the Spellwing. Not a terrible play, pretty good. He might buff up the Rocketeer here since the Priest, it's not like the Priest is doing damage. So there you go. The Rocketeer has 3 rockets right there. Pretty unfortunate, actually. I guess we'll hit the Paladin right here. Also hitting the Spellwing. Lots of damage to the Paladin and the Spellwing. They took a decent amount of damage right there. He just went for the Robot. That will play some bombs for me. Perfect. Never mind. He just went for the heals. He actually healed up everyone. Very decent play. Not gonna lie. Decent play. We cannot buff up the Rocketeer here, so let's just go after the Paladin and the Priest. Decent damage right there again, especially towards the Paladin. But he's actually keeping everyone alive. Plus, he's actually going to buff up the Rocketeer once again. He is actually playing very, very well. But let's just try to take out the Paladin by pushing him towards the fire. There you go. So we just took out the Paladin. That's 1 less hero for him to heal up and buff up the Rocketeer. But is it too late? Because he can just hit all 3 of them down there. If he does this correctly, he could miss. He could hit all 3 of them. He just needs to play this perfectly. You can hit all 3 of them, dude. If you leave the robot alive, then we'll have a decent chance of winning here. He decides to just do that. He did not hit the robot using the Rocketeer's ability. Okay. Should we go after the... I just realized that the Rocketeer got buffed again. So we might not even survive here. So we just took out this... No, his priest is still alive. I thought we took out the priest. So he is going to heal up everyone once again. This is a loss. He played it incredibly well. He is going to heal up the priest, buff up the Rocketeer. Okay. Okay. I don't think we're winning here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just do that. Decent damage. I mean, I would like to buff up the robot, but if he takes out the robot with the Rocketeer, because he can easily do so, then we are going to lose here. Rocketeer died. Jossum is actually still alive, surprisingly. Well, this is unfortunate. We might lose here. Buff up the robot. Decent damage. But who is he gonna go after? I mean, he can take out the robot. Going after the Blacksmith, I don't think that's the play. He decided to go after the Blacksmith. Why? That was such a weird play. He actually went after the Blacksmith. Very weird. Hit the priest right there. Spellwing takes some damage, but sadly we weren't able to take out the priest just yet because he keeps healing. He's going after the Jossum. Jossum dies. This is where we need to somehow win. Oof. Against his deck. Again, I cannot take out the priest right now. I mean, pushing the robot, the Rocketeer towards the fire. Also hitting the priest. I'll take it. That was very good. Is he going to buff up the Rocketeer? Yes, he is. Going to play some echoes as well. Okay, so he is going to heal up. This is where we have to just push the Rocketeer towards the fire. And now he needs to deal direct damage to me. He can still push me towards the fire if he wants to, but he now needs to deal direct damage to me, meaning that I'm going to be placing bombs, basically. He's going to play some echoes instead of going for damage. Okay. Okay, he does that. Look at the damage that we can do here, though. We can deal lots of damage. And can we hit the priest? No way! That should have taken out the priest! Come on, dude. Alright, so he's going to heal up the Spellwing. Lots of bombs over there. But I cannot do anything. Because they're not near me. Hit the priest. This should hit the priest. There you go. Alright, so we took out the priest. No more echoes for him. He can still heal up or deal damage to me. He can use it to heal up. I don't want to lose my defensive buff. He is going to heal up. And he just won. Well played. Unfortunate loss, man. Unfortunate loss. This Rocketeer was the MVP there. And the priest. The priest kept everyone alive, making my, very annoying to face this deck. So props to this person for winning. And unfortunately, that is going to be, 6 wins, but our final loss, ladies and gentlemen. Still a pretty good run overall. Claiming all the rewards. This is my baby account, so I need everything, obviously. And regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please make sure to hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel for more Smashing 4 videos. Pretty awesome run. 6 wins. I mean, definitely not the greatest, obviously. But still, 6 wins is very awesome for 100 gems. So, very happy with the run. So, if you guys have any other recommendations that you want to see, just let me know in the comments below. That's what I do for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And thanks again for the continued support. We'll see you next one. Take care.